All right, let's dig right into video number 2 on lesson 10.1, outcomes and events. And we're going to talk a little bit about complementary events. So right underneath example C, where we talked about the favorable outcomes for picking a queen, if you would, draw a line right underneath your answer. Draw a line right underneath your answer, and then write complementary events. And then you can have a little space. I'm sorry I didn't leave you a space, but you can have a space right underneath example C and right above where it says B, counting outcomes. And you can write complementary events. So you want to know, here's the things you want to write down. The sum of the probabilities of complementary events is equal to 1. The sum is equal to 1. In other words, if I want to know, if I have the probability, and I'm just going to write this down, we haven't really talked about probability yet, but we talked about complementary events just a tiny bit in the first video. We said they were opposites. So if I want to know the probability of A, and I add that to the probability of not A, I'm adding those two together, it's going to equal 1. So that's basically what complementary events are. They're opposites. It's the probability of the event and the probability of not the event, and adding those together equal to 1. So those are complementary events. Let's move right along with counting outcomes. It says, you spin the spinner. How many possible outcomes are there? Well, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 possible outcomes. If we wanted to list them, we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those are the outcomes, the possible outcomes. There's 8 of them. There's 8 of them. And in how many ways can you spin an even number? Well, we see 2, we see 4, we see 6, and we see 8. So there's 4 ways we can spin it. We can spin an even number, and those are 2, 4, 6, and 8. And the last one, C, how many ways can you not spin a prime number? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you better remember what a prime number is. Let's see how many of you know. Is 1 prime? Is 1 a prime number? Nah, 1 is not a prime number. So that's one way you cannot spin a prime number. Is 2 prime? So this one is no. Is 2 prime? Yeah, 2's prime. Is 3 prime? Yes, 3 is prime. What about 4? 4 is not. How about 5? 5's prime. How about 6? 6 is not prime. 7, that is prime. 8, not prime. So there's 4 ways. We listed them. We put a check mark next to the probability of a prime. If we add, and there's 4 of those, right? Probability of spinning a prime number is 4 out of 8. If we add that to the probability that it's not prime, well, what do we have? Again, 4 out of 8. When we add those together, we have common denominators. 4 and 4 is 8. That equals to 8 over 8. What is 8 over 8? That's right. It's 1. Moving along. You randomly choose one of the tiles shown below. Find the favorable outcomes of the event. Our first question, how many possible outcomes are there? Well, there's 9. There's 9 tiles. What are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? If you wanted to know the outcomes, that's they are. How many possible outcomes are there? There are 9. In how many ways can you not? Oh, that's C. Let's go to B. B says, in how many ways can you choose a 4? And how many ways can you choose a 4? So we come up here and we see that there's 1. There's 1. What is it? 1 way. And that's 4. That's it. 1 way. And C, in how many ways can you not choose an odd number? Not odd. Well, let's go. Is 1 odd? 1 is odd. 2, 3, odd. 4, So let's start listing the ones that are not odd. We have 2 and 4 are not odd. 5 is odd. 6, nope. 7 is odd. 8, nope. And 9 is odd. So there are 4 ways to not choose an odd number. And here they are listed. 2, 4, 6, and 8 are the ways you cannot choose an odd number. And in D, in how many ways can you choose a number divisible by 2? Well, what numbers are divisible by 2? Let's see. 2 is divisible by 2, and so is 4, so is 6, and so is 8. The other ones are not. So again, there's 4 ways to choose a number divisible by 2, and those numbers are 2, 4, 6, and 8 again. That's just the way it is. Our last example before we go on to our last quick write, you randomly choose a letter from the math phrase, hey, math is awesome! Boy, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, doing this stuff is all about attitude and effort. If you have the right attitude every single time you take notes at night, you have the right effort when you come into class every single day, this stuff is going to become relatively easy for you. I guarantee you're going to learn how to learn, and you're going to learn how to study. You're going to learn how to be successful. All right, so A says, how many possible outcomes are there? Well, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 13 possible outcomes. What are they? M-A-T-H-I-S-R-O-S-S-O-M-E. Those are the possible outcomes, and there are 13 of them. Part B, what are the favorable outcomes of choosing an S? Well, when I look up there, the favorable outcomes from choosing an S is S, S, and S. Those are the favorable outcomes. There are 3 of them. What are they? S, S, and S. Part C, what are the favorable outcomes of choosing a capital letter? Well, there's 2 capital letters up there, M and R. Those are the favorable outcomes. Notice that's a different answer than the number of ways. Even though, like in number 1, how many possible outcomes are there? And I put the number and I still listed the possible outcomes. That this is not the answer. The 13 is the answer. But over in C and B, when it wants to know what are the favorable ones, I listed them. All right. In D, in how many ways can you not, there's that complementary event again, choose a vowel? Well, if I find the vowels A, I, O, and E, so those are the vowels, and how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 out of 13 that are vowels. Not vowels, if we add, well, we have M. Oh, it wants to know how many ways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. 8 ways we could not. If we wanted to list them, we could. M, T, H, S, R, S, S, M. And then we go 8 over 13. When we add that up, it's 13 over 13, which is equal to 1. Complementary events are the opposite, right? So, outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, quick write number 2 says you're going to spin this spinner over here. You're going to want to pause it because you have 4 parts of quick write 2 to answer. So you might as well pause it and answer them all into your notes on the quick write page, writing neatly. If you want to draw the picture and all that stuff, you certainly can. That would be helpful for you, although you don't have to if you don't want to. It would be part of your 45 minutes. Again, when you're done with that quick write, you need to write down questions. We talked about questions in class. So now there's 2 types of questions you need to write down. Questions that you could be asked. And if you don't have them written down tonight, that's okay. We'll discuss some tomorrow in class. But questions regarding outcomes and events, anything you have questions on from these notes, certainly write those down or put a question mark next to or highlight some section of the notes, something that says, hey, when we go over this in class, I'm going to ask Mr. Ross about this. Of course, begin working on your assignment. Total of 45 quality minutes every single night. Being accountable, training yourself, using aggressiveness and urgency. The more you attack what you're supposed to do, the quicker it seems to go, the less daunting it is, and the easier it ends up being for you. Always using your time effectively. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Good night.